I used to be such a mean person. I've talked about it many times on my channel, but I became kind. I'm not like, Pollyanna by any means, but I'm definitely not as mean as I used to be. And it was a very, very deliberate journey. I did work on myself because as I got older and I started to learn more things and listen and observe, I realized that I had never really felt comfortable, that the meanness that I displayed was really not who I was. It was just a defense mechanism to protect me from the mean people who were around me. Not that I was abused or anything like that, no one was beating me up, or don't get the wrong idea, but it's just that I learned a different way. As I became nicer and I observed the changes that brought about in my life, like people treated me better, people were more kind to me, it felt good, it felt warm. And I use that word very, very deliberately because I don't remember much about my childhood, but I remember feeling uncomfortable. And it wasn't just an isolated feeling, it was just a general feeling like I didn't fit. And I think it was because of the meanness. As I got older, I realized that being mean is almost easy in a way. What's difficult is being consistently kind and gracious and thoughtful and considerate and nice. It takes an effort. It really needs to come from inside out to give you the full benefits of the activity, because people can tell when you're being insincere, they can tell when you're being disingenuous, but when you're being kind, when you're being thoughtful, and that's like just who you are, you're a warm, gracious, considerate person, it really does change how people behave towards you, what they're willing to do for you, how they communicate with you. And I think that's so important for a Black woman, especially because not just to be kind to other people, but to be kind to ourselves, because we're taught not to be kind to ourselves. We're taught to be harsh in many cases. And people talk about the soft life. I think one of the more tangential themes that relates to that idea of having or cultivating a soft life is being kind to yourself. It's not necessarily about, superficial self-care things, although those things certainly have their place, right? It's more about the attitudes that you adopt toward yourself and toward others, and whether or not they're consistent, and whether or not you believe them, and whether or not it comes from who you are and who you want to be as a person. If I could tell anyone, any young woman, one thing that I wish I'd learned sooner, it's that you must be kind, not just to others, but to yourself consistently, because it really will change your life. Yeah.